The Heroes of Might and Magic board game is set to lose a massive amount of money. I've spent weeks following Archon Studios' updates and news stories, discovering the delays and complications that may prevent the developer from even turning a profit on this Kickstarter. The war in the Middle East has more than doubled the studio's shipping cost overnight. In my last video, I detailed the problems that the conflict has caused. Long story short, the cost to ship one shipping container from China to Northern Europe went from $3,000 to over $7,000 in a single day. There have even been reports of some prices reaching as high as $10,000 for a single 40-foot container, all because of the conflict at the Suez Canal. Archon is fortunate to even find a company to ship the game, because some companies are refusing to travel all the way to Northern Europe after sending ships around the Cape of Good Hope. In Archon Studios' case, it's going to add an additional 20 days before the games reach the Poland headquarters. In fact, this is the busiest time of year for worldwide product shipping, as manufacturers work to get goods out of China before all factories shut down nationwide for the Lunar New Year in early February. This has led to many smaller companies actually getting elbowed out by larger companies, leaving them unable to even buy space on the cargo ships. Archon Studio has been frantically searching for the best options while hoping container prices would come down after the holidays. They had previously stated that if the price of shipping becomes too high, then they would not even be able to break even on the Kickstarter campaign. If that becomes the case, then they would have to delay delivery even further as they wait for prices to come back down to more reasonable levels. The attacks in the Red Sea couldn't have come at a worse time for Archon Studio. And the way that overseas shipping typically works is that the price of a shipping container is not set out in a contract in advance of the shipment. The price is determined at the moment that the containers are ready to be loaded onto the ship, and prices go up and down on a daily basis. On top of that, the containers are not allowed to be stored at the shipyards in order to wait for a better price. In fact, payment is not even made until after the ship is already underway. This all means that Archon never had the option to secure a good shipping price in advance, and they have been completely blindsided by the price increases, and now they have to take it on the chin. It's an unfortunate situation for everybody. Archon Studio CEO Jarek Yarodowski was noticeably stressed during the situation in his previous live stream. He has got to be sweating bullets over this situation. There has also been a fair bit of frustration from the community, especially on the Discord server. A lot of people who already paid for the game were not expecting such delays to come up, and are not accustomed to the delays that so often plague Kickstarter fulfillment. Raise your hand if this is your first time backing a Kickstarter campaign. This game obviously means a lot to people, and the earliest backers have been waiting over a year for the game. But let's keep this all in perspective. Archon Studio has done everything in their power to bring this game to backers as quickly as possible. All of the delays that have happened have been caused by events that were completely out of their hands. The manufacturer delay, the train delay, have all been caused by problems with third-party companies. With the shipping containers costing over $4,000 more than expected, and Archon needing 24 containers from China, they are going to lose approximately $100,000 just to get the first wave of games shipped to Europe. There were actually people in the livestream chat asking if they could pay more to help alleviate some of the costs that Archon Studio now faces, but the CEO said that would not be happening on his watch. He also guaranteed that the studio would not even contract with a manufacturing company for the retail version until after all Kickstarter backers have received their copy of the game.
Style and class!
Compare this with so many other board game Kickstarters. At least one Discord user has been waiting for a different Kickstarter game since 2018. And how many Kickstarters have there been where the game ends up on retail shelves before the original backers even get their copy? Archon Studio has gone through a major series of unfortunate events, but with the level of professionalism that they have shown, I intend to be there to purchase their next Heroes of Might and Magic game when it comes out. But that's a topic I'll cover in a later video. Maybe you'd like to subscribe? Now on to the good news. All of the Wave 1 Basic and Azure level pledges have now arrived by train at Archon headquarters. And as of Tuesday, some games have actually been delivered to Kickstarter backers. But not me. Now this does not include Grail, Collector, Big Box, or All-In pledges, whether shaded or unshaded. Those will be coming on the container ships set to leave China sometime this month. By the way, my prediction that there would be Wave 2 pledges on the container ship was partially correct, as the CEO has confirmed that the Chinese manufacturer has completed more than enough copies of the game for all Wave 1 backers. What is left over will then be sent to Wave 2 backers, with those that backed the game earlier expected to receive it first. But not me. In fact, Archon is working to get the game to backers in the order of who pledged first, at least in as much as those pledges are available. But it will also depend on how complicated your order is. For example, if you made a low-level Basic or Azure pledge and included additional expansions instead of going with a larger pledge, then your delivery is likely to come later, as the logistics company will need time to look through multiple different containers in order to put your particular pledge together. From the pictures, it looks like the basic game and tower expansion are all delivered from the manufacturer in one box, and I'm guessing it would be the same for Grail, Collector, All-In, and of course big box pledges. Obviously, these all-in-one prepackaged boxes are easier to ship out than orders with expansions shipped separately. As for when the larger pledges will arrive, Archon has said they expect the shipment to reach the logistics company by sometime in March. And according to the most recent update, Archon will be sending containers carrying American-bound games directly to Quartermaster Logistics in order to expedite the shipping. They are also looking for a logistics company in Australia to do the same thing. Now, Quartermaster Logistics is a company that specializes in crowdfunding campaign fulfillment. Quartermaster's website says that shipments of this magnitude will take a couple of weeks of processing after the shipment is received. And according to ImportGenius.com, Quartermaster has fulfilled multiple shipments of board games in the past. Presumably, the games will make port somewhere on the west coast of the United States and then be sent out for delivery from there. But Quartermaster's website was lacking in those details. As far as the Wave 2 shipments, Archon has not stated how many extra copies of the game the manufacturer has made at this point. The rest of Wave 2 will not leave China until after the Lunar New Year. So unless you made your pledge in the first week of September, then most likely you're going to have to wait until May or June to get your copy. As for me, I'm likely to be one of the last people to get my pledge. I'll keep my eye out if anything more develops between now and March. And if you'd like more details on how Archon's problems got started, then click on this video.